You are a 25-year-old woman and you're pooping on the floor? You couldn't hold it? So for today's video, what I thought we could do was A, eat, B, talk about my work horror stories. Yes, I know. We've been waiting a while for it, but I'm here to tell you. And the only reason I am filming this now as a whole sit-down video and not just part of a video is because on Friday, I had the most interesting morning at work and it made it onto my work horror story list. So now I have 3 stories to tell you guys. One of them's really disgusting, so if you, how should I phrase this? If you don't like stories about poop, click off now. We'll get started with the video, but first and foremost to help me get through this video is A, an iced coffee, and B, some Suzy Q donuts. Ooh, let's just take a moment for these beautiful things. So I'm gonna try these. There's a couple I haven't had before. So we'll snack and tell stories. Yay! Okay. The first donut is pink lemonade. Let's give her a little. It's a little sour. So let's start with the first story. I was working at McDonald's in Canada. I worked there for like 3 years, I think. There was this man, he came in, he got a small coffee. Like the way he wanted coffee made was like a small black coffee with 5 ice cubes. This is always what he got, but the thing about it was he only wanted females to make his coffee. Like he didn't want males, none of that. He wanted young females to make his coffee. This guy had like long hair. He gave off some weird vibes. I made his coffee, and if there was one less ice cube or one too many, he didn't like it, and he only liked when specific people made the coffee. I just so happened to be one of his favorites. So let's say he was coming inside, and he saw that I was working the drive-thru or another female was working the drive-thru. He would leave from being in line inside, get in his car, and come through the drive-thru like 3 times. 3. So like my managers used to always swap us out for somebody else that he wasn't particularly a fan of. So I used to work at the Walmart location quite often, and he started to figure that out. So he started coming there more frequently. There was a whole weekend, like I was working with the same manager for the whole weekend, and he kept coming to see me like 3 or 4 times in like half an hour just for me to make his coffee. He wouldn't come if there was a lot of people. So like at this one moment, there was quite a few people in line, so he didn't come through. But what he did was he would walk back and forth in front of the M to like see where I am and see what I'm doing. Whatever time goes on, he comes in, he gets his coffee. Small black coffee with 5 ice cubes. And he'd always be like, oh, it's so perfect, it's so delicious, yum yum. Okay, it's fucking black coffee with ice in it. How good can that be? So he came to see me for a refill of that same coffee 5 times in 20 minutes. Who drinks that much coffee in 20 minutes, by the way? So my managers kind of decided like this was getting ridiculous. So what they did, they were like, okay, if you see him, let us know. I was cleaning up the counter and he saw him. He like poked his head beside the M to see if I was there, then poked it back. So I went to my manager, I'm like, hey, like he's hovering outside. And then they're like, okay, like if he starts to come in, just head to the back, like if you see him again. So I see him again, hovering around the M. So I went to the back and like I pretended I was cleaning, but like customers, they could walk around kind of and peek their head and, you know, see where people are in the back. So I had to actually hide behind a wall. And he comes in and he's like, is Kim working? Sorry, bitch, what? You know my name. Like, I know I wear a name tag, but nobody ever recognized. Oh, anyways. So my manager's like, oh, I gave her like a list and it's gonna take her an hour. And he goes,
well, can she come up now?
Like, bitch, just get your coffee from somebody else. Like, ew, I don't like that. So my manager's like, unfortunately not. And then this guy left, but he was hovering to see if I would come back, but he was arguing for me. I'd always leave when he came, and then eventually he stopped coming. Well, that's the first work horror story. It's not too much of a horror story. Like, that's not horrible. It's just kind of creepy how some man just wouldn't leave me alone. The next story is probably one of the most disgusting things that have ever happened to me at work. I have to say, this was just not okay. It wasn't right. I don't know if y'all are ready for this next story because this one is so gross that I can't even believe I witnessed this. I can't believe I worked with someone who was like this. It just, this was, I want to say like a year and a half ago, I think it was. Something around there. I got a job at the McDonald's. I don't know. There was just this one girl that I personally didn't find to be the most cleanliness person out there. And if you're watching this, I'm sorry. There were little things that happened, you know, she'd like play with her nose ring and then make your food or whatever, wouldn't wash her hands. Those kind of things that you're like, okay, you know, like most people would wash their hands, but she didn't. So basically, there was one day I was off, okay? I was off at 1:30. Now, at McDonald's, the way it works is when you're off, you're supposed to go get stock. So you're supposed to go get like cups, lids, forks, knives, ice for the ice machine, whatever. This particular day, you know, I'm scooping in the ice. It's like 10 minutes after my shift. So I'm scooping the ice into the ice bucket, whatever, normal day. This girl runs right past me like she's in a fucking hurry. And I just think, oh, she probably had to go to the bathroom. Because she went to the bathroom a lot, okay? Whatever, to each their own. But this day, she ran. I was like, okay, whatever. She's probably just trying to get back to work, whatever. So I go to the front, I fill the ice hopper, as they called it. And as I'm walking back, you know, I see this shoe, like a work shoe, laying beside the ice machine. I'm just thinking, who the fuck lost their shoe? And then I see like brown on the shoe, and I'm like, okay. Still not really cluing in at this point what happened. And then I look a bit over, and then there's a footprint of this brown stuff on the floor. And then I look a bit ahead, and there's a pile. And then I look a bit around the corner, and there's a skid. And I'm just thinking, is that shit? Like, I kind of had to think about it. I'm like, is that poop? There's like literal shit all over the floor. There's poop everywhere. There's poop footprints. 2 people slipped in this poop, mind you. And there's like a shoe with shit on it. This girl shit her pants. You are a 25-year-old woman and you're pooping on the floor. You couldn't hold it. And then my manager grabs the mop, you know, that you clean the floor with every single fucking day, and starts mopping the shit. Like, what? You should be cleaning it up with a paper towel. And also, why are you doing it? Why isn't the girl who shit her pants cleaning it up? They threw out the mop head, obviously, and got a new one. But think about it. Think about it. That poop mop went in that bucket. And sure, they poured it out, but it's the same damn bucket. So, like, there's probably still a feces somewhere in there. And where you dump the mop water out, there's a hose to fill it back up that sits in the sink. So when they dump the poop, what the fuck did you think it hit? The hose that you have to pick up with your hand? Oh. So that's my second work horror story. I don't even want to eat those donuts anymore after I just told that story because 2 of them have Oreo on top. I think I'm done with the donuts for right now. We'll just tell the last story and get on with it, shall we? All right, so for my last story, this took place Friday morning. Okay, so basically I work in a call center. There's 3 of us in a row. I work here. This is my desk. Then there's, let's say, Taylor's desk. And then there's a guy named Bob. He sits here. I'm not using their real names, and I'm not going to say where I work. But there's me, Taylor, and Bob. So me and Taylor show up at 8:30, and Bob showed up at 9. Me and Taylor are working on stuff, you know, minding our own business. this guy Bob, he comes in, he sits down like how he normally does, takes a seat, but then he gets up 2 seconds later. And the way it is, it's our 3 desks, and then there's a wall, and our manager's desk is right here. So if, let's say Bob or Taylor want to talk to the manager, they just walk behind me and talk to him. So Bob gets up, and he walks behind me, and he starts talking to the manager. Now he's whispering, mind you. And he whispers something, and the only word I hear out of his sentence is snake. My ears perk up. I'm like, hold on. Maybe I heard him wrong. Maybe he didn't say snake. So I listen a little bit more. He says it again because the manager goes, what? And then Bob says,
there's a snake.
I heard this whole thing and I kind of went, huh. So there's a snake. You know, I'm thinking like a little gardener snake. You know, those tiny little ones. They're like super skinny, super small, whatever. A tiny little snake. It could have gotten in it anyway. So I look to my left. I look over at Bob's desk because I'm assuming that's where the snake is. So I look at Bob's desk and I don't see a little gardener snake. No. All I see is a body this thick and I saw about this much of it. And I think to myself, that sure as fuck is not a gardener snake. So I jump up because I'm like, what the fuck kind of snake is over there? I jump up, I'm like, oh my gosh, and then my coworker Taylor, she didn't even see the snake. She just saw my reaction, so then she starts going, oh, oh, ah! She starts freaking out, but she didn't even see it. So we're all freaking out. Everyone else in the call center is like, what are these crazy people yelling at? Like, hello, I'm on the phone, and we're just freaking out. There was a fucking python at my work. Just a python slithering around on the floor, and I'm just thinking, how the fuck is there a python here? Where did it come from? And then there's my coworker, let's call him Robbie. He comes up and he picks this thing up like he just starts folding it. And he's like, oh, sorry guys, like I can explain. Like, okay, I knew he had a python. I knew this, but not in a million years did I think this guy would bring his pet snake to work. He brought it in his backpack, okay? And this snake unzipped the backpack.
Like, oh, bitch, I want to see where everybody at, though.
And he starts slithering around. Like, this guy brought his python to work. Like, are you dumb? And his reasoning was because he needed to bring the snake to the vet after work. Because he doesn't have a car, he takes the bus. But I'm just thinking, Robbie, there could have been a lot of better ways you could have gone about this, boy. Like, who told you that bringing your pet snake in your backpack was a good idea? And he didn't even tell anybody that he brought it. We just had to find out by that thing slithering around on the floor. Like, oh my God. Like, we were all so freaked out. And I got my manager behind me going, guys, calm down. I'm like, me calm down. You calm down. There's a fucking python over there. It was terrifying. He like picks it up, folds it. He puts it in my manager's car who breeds baby pythons or ball pythons, whatever you call them. So it was in his car. He's like apologizing. You know, we're all joking about it later on because like, I mean, that thing's gone. I'm not scared of snakes. However, when I'm expecting a little gardener snake and there's like a big ass python just chilling, that crosses a line for me, you know, when I'm not expecting a python, and who knows, I didn't know where it came from. It could have still had venom in it. I don't know. Needless to say, he no longer works with us. It wasn't the manager's decision, it was the owner's decision, because everybody caught wind that there was a python at work. Anyway, so that's all I have for work horror stories. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'd love to hear your work horror stories, so if you guys want to comment down below some crazy things that you've had happen at your work, I'd love to hear them. That's everything I have for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, please hit the thumbs up button. And don't forget to subscribe down below to get notified when I post. Bye, guys! Sorry. No.